The following is a live special presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. And so if you'd bought your tickets for what should have been a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday streams here on Retro Sports Network, this is the Thursday day game that we're playing tonight after what a weird week it's been on the channel. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program. I know that we are on against other people, but we think that we have a very interesting game for you, as we always do, on our second stream of April the 21st, 2022. The New York Yankees are on a serious roll. They are within 5.5 games of the Toronto Blue Jays, and they are part of a 5-team dogfight with Toronto, Boston, Baltimore, and Detroit for the American League East crown. As we head into the second half of the season, this looks to be our closest race, except for who they're playing. The Kansas City Royals. They're 45-36. They are only a game and a half up, I think, on the California Angels. And remember, from top to bottom, the AL West is 9.5 games. It really is anybody's race in both of these American League races, because that would be redundant not to make sense. So the Royals come to New York on a rainy Wednesday, July 10th, 1985, to face New York. Dennis Rasmussen, who kind of, the last time we had him on the program, kind of went through an entire box of Depends against the Baltimore Orioles. And Mark Gubas is going for the Royals. You know it's going to be a good one right here, right now. As Retro Sports Network, how you doing, Steeler fan, presents Major League Replay 85 tonight from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. It is the New York Yankees and the Kansas City Royals. And tonight's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. Tomorrow, by the way, we are taping Researching the Replay. How about that? And so it'll be, as soon as I see it pop up on the screen like that, Dennis Rasmussen on the hill for the Yankees against these Royals. The Yankees are playing game 81. They are halfway through the 85 season as of this one. The Royals start the second half of their year. This is game number 82. You're happy to watch my new high-powered offense. We had 21 runs today, didn't we? Or 22? Anyway, hopefully Dennis Rasmussen will spoil that for you. He is 6-3 with an earned run average of .333, making his 15th of 16 starts. So, next to last one for Dennis. And seeing he's now made 2 starts against the Royals, I should read you those numbers. He has beaten the Royals both times he's faced them. In 18 innings, he allowed 10 hits, 3 runs all earned. He walked 4 and struck out 7. 2-0 against Kansas City with an ERA of 1.50. And by the way, as I'm trying to get buttons to work, the Yankees have taken 6 of 8 from the Royals coming into this one. Rasmussen, if you remember, was Christmas treated heavily against the Orioles. But his last time out, he rebounded against the Twins. A 3-2 win for New York, but a no decision for Dennis. 7 innings, 105 pitches, 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a homer. He walked 1 and struck out 5. Dennis is 26, a fastball pitcher at 90 and a ground ball pitcher. Overall, 92 innings, 77 hits, 41 runs, 34 earned, 12 homers. He's walked 35 and struck out 64. The lineup he'll face: Willie Wilson leads off in center field. Lonnie Smith in left will bat second. George Brett at third will bat third. Hal McRae is the DH. He cleans up. Steve Bye-Bye Balboni will play first and bat fifth. Frank White at second goes sixth. Lynn Jones in right field will bat seventh. John Wathan behind the plate goes eighth. And Greg Pryor, who you can follow on Facebook, by the way, is at short. batting ninth, and Gubiza can go about 115 pitches. Ken Griffey is a 7-7 in left as we set the Yankee defense for you. Henderson a 7-9 in center. Winfield an 8 and an 8 in right. Mike Pagliarulo a 5 at third. Bobby Meacham a 5 at short. Andre Robertson a 3 at second. Don Mattingly a 7 at first. And Weiniger is back behind the plate. He's an 8 and a 5. Rasmussen is a 7 with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Wilson comes in at 259. 3 homers, 11 triples, and 24 RBI. So hopefully you got your Yingling and your scoreboard signs, and we are ready to go. Wilson hits a slow bounder to third. Pagliarulo is just going to eat it, 1 out. And a risky chance there to make the play, and it just wasn't going to work. Brings up Lonnie Smith, 253, 2 homers, 15 RBI. Throw to first, and Willie is going for second. Did they get him? They did. He took off, and Rasmussen hasn't picked off. How about that? So Mattingly throws to Meacham, and on the pickoff, it goes 1-3-6. And as Al Red Sox fan would say, pickup sticks. So 1 out, and they haven't pitched to Lonnie Smith yet. Now they do, and there's a fly ball to left. Griffey comes in, rides a Schwinn, has it for the out, with 2 out. For George Brett, 341, 18 homers and 45 RBI. Steeler fan already getting restless because they haven't put up 19 runs yet. Who's RJL playing tonight? He's into September, if I'm not mistaken, in his 79 replay. Brett pops it up right side. Robertson on the grass. Dodges the raindrops and makes the catch, and that will retire the side. Royals get a hit, and then Willie Wilson's picked off. Half an inning in the books, no score. So here's Mark Gubiza. It's a Yankee fest. Yankees here, Yankees there, Yankees everywhere. Yankees at the Twins. So he's at the Met, and I'm at Yankee Stadium. And, of course, RJL is a huge Mets fan. Gubiza in his 14th start of the year, 5-4 with a 3.12 ERA. 23 years old, a fastball pitcher, 89, and a ground ball pitcher. He is yet to face the Yankees this year. He's lost his last 2 decisions. 5 days ago against the Orioles, he lost 2-0. 6 1/3, 121 pitches for young Mark. Allowed 2 hits and an unearned run. Walked 6 and struck out 4. So overall, 83 2/3, 55 hits, 30 runs, 29 earned, 5 homers, 48 walks, and 41 strikeouts. Yes, and Mr. Gubiza is indeed the president of the ID Jester fan club. It's Gubiza. And he's a baby in this picture. The lineup he'll face, old Ricky Henderson will lead off for the Yankees in center field. Griffey batting second and playing left. Mattingly at first, hitting third. Winfield cleans up in right. Don Baylor, the DH, bats fifth. Butch Weiniger back behind the plate will go sixth. Mike Pagliarulo in left will bat third. Andre Robertson at second will go eighth, and Bobby Meacham batting ninth at short. He is. And Mr. Gubiza, and you share a birthday. You weren't 23 in 1985, were you? You're not that old. Anyway, Rasmussen threw 10 pitches in his half of the first. Lonnie Smith is a 4 and a 5 in left. Willie Wilson an 8 and an 8 in center. Lynn Jones a 5 and a 3 in right. George Brett a 7 at third. Greg Pryor is a 4 at short and a 900 fielding percentage. I don't think that was Greg's natural position, do you? Frank White is an 8 at second. Steve Balboni is a 5 at first. John Wathan is a 7 at behind the plate and is a 3 arm. And Gubiza is a 7 with a 1,000 fielding percentage. If it is past mid-August, then you are 6 years old. It is not. It's July 10th. You're 5 years old, and Mark Gubiza is 18 years older than you. We actually did the games on when we did the doubleheader on July 4th. That was my wife's birthday, and she would have been 12. I did not know her then. Ricky at 307, 14 homers and 41 RBI. Don Mattingly and you have the same birthday, so yesterday was your birthday. Happy birthday. Were you born in 1933? Pitch to Ricky. There's a line drive to right. That's extra bases, and with Ricky's speed, that might be 3. Ricky is going to get 2 at least. Henderson slides into second, and Ricky has his 8th double of the year. You're welcome. 1974, which makes you roughly my wife's age. So you would have been around 11 when this game was played. And Mattingly just turned 61, by the way. Did you know, and I'm sure you knew this, Matt, that Don Mattingly, as a manager, wears the number 8 for Yogi Berra as a nod to Yogi, who was ironically fired at the beginning of his 85 season and didn't come to Yankee Stadium for a long time after. Griffey at 240, 4 homers and 31 RBI. So Henderson is on second, and Gubicza walks Griffey. So not the stark mark one. Mattingly at 324, 11 homers and 59 RBI. Gubicza deals. And there's a base hit left center field. Ricky's going to round third for sure. Henderson trots home. Lonnie Smith is not going to throw, I would imagine. We're not going to... Oh, he is going to go to the plate. Watson... Well, that was a fool's errand as Griffey goes to third. The Yankees lead 1-0. My goodness, I'm winning my first game in a week. Thursday night baseball because it's been an interesting week, Brad. We, honest to goodness, had a surprise snowstorm up here in New England on Tuesday. And for a lot of the state of Vermont, we didn't have any power because trees are starting to bud. It's warm, and people haven't had the chance to take down all their dead branches from the winter. And so I was actually busy helping my mom with a few things on the phone because she didn't have any power. Here's Winfield, 276, 14 homers, and 60 RBI. So runners on first and third, and the Yankees lead 1-0. Ricky does what Ricky wants. Yeah, we don't need no stinking third base coach. No, sir. So Wednesday we go to load up the Dodgers and the Cardinals again. And the game goofs. It says path not found. And so thanks again to Dave Cook for helping me solve that problem. Because we didn't want to fall further behind. You got a split doubleheader today, and that's why you got Thursday night baseball. Pitch to Winfield. Dave hits a ground ball to right. Griffey will score. Mattingly holds at second. Mattingly goes to third, and the Yankees lead 2-0. Someone might want to give some spelling salts over to Steeler fan. You've worked 14 of the past 16 days. Are you still in the furniture business? But somehow Burlington sounds even busier. You know what? Our lines are underground, but the wind really was howling Monday night. To the point where, normally we don't cancel because of the weather, but the lights Tuesday morning were flickering, and you don't want to start something you won't be able to finish. Baylor at 231, 11 homers and 33 RBI. Short-staffed, and you've had to cover. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, you'll love it at Levitt's. Pitch to Baylor. Chopper to third, might be 2. Brett's got it, and he will try for 2. Mattingly's going to score. White for 1 over to Balboni, and they do turn it. This is a strong lineup for sure. And it's now 3-0 New York with 2 out. And here's Weiniger. Butch back after an injury, 208, no homers and 14 RBI. They are legitimately a contender here in the American League East, for sure. Weininger into short right. Jones comes in and will make the catch. On a diving catch in the rain. How about that? To retire the side. The Yankees get 3 on 3 hits and no errors. They don't leave anybody on. To go to the second, 3-0 New York. So you can pop in RJL score if you want. Hal McRae at 346. Good news is Hal has 10 homers. The bad news is he has 19 RBI. How in the God's green earth do you only drive in 9 runs besides yourself hitting 10 homers? Rasmussen starts the second with a walk. First one for Dennis. Here's Balboni. Steve at 246. 18 homers and 53 RBI. He has struck out 75 times. Your 80 Royals, and I'll get this right, 77 to 82 league. 80 Royals with the best record. I think the 80 Royals in that run for KC was their best team. Pitch to Balboni. Into left field, Griffey. That's it. Wow, I got it right. How about that? Griffey makes the catch for the out. McRae goes back. 84 wasn't as good for Kansas City. And this team is legit. Although I think California has a good chance to run them down. The rain, by the way, is stopped here in New York. Frank White at 279, 12 homers and 50 RBI. 40 games in, and George Brett's hitting 479. Holy Tony Gwynn, Batman. Pitch to White. Into right. Winfield in the corner. Makes the catch. Now, Brad should be able to answer this. Through some research, speaking of 400 hitters, is it because sac flies were counted as at-bats and they wouldn't be, obviously, today, that in the year that Ted Williams hit 406, under today's conditions, he would have hit 411? Or did I miss part of that? Here's Lynn Jones, 225, no homers, and 4 RBI. Pitch to Lynn. Ball 4. So 2 walks here in the second. And that'll bring it correctamundo. That's just amazing. Watson at 205, no homers and 6 RBI. Now, was there a time before that when sac flies were considered to be non-at-bats? So does this also include people like Rogers, Hornsby, and others who hit above 400? Pitch to John. In the left, Griffey goes back in the corner. That is a line drive, and I'm not sure that's staying in the yard. In fact, it's not. That's a homer for Watson. A 3-run shot, and the Royals have tied this game. That's his first home run of the year. Wind blowing in from 6 into center field, and Griffey, he ran a long way and eventually just ran out of real estate. Yep. And that's an Earl Weaver special. Just like that, tie ball game. To quote the late Phil Rizzuto, holy cow. Did you see that one, White? He hit it out of the park. 327 down the line, and yep, Brad says that includes earlier players. Here's Greg Pryor. Greg at 200, a homer, and 6 RBI. So 3-3, 2 out, top 2. Up the middle, Robertson. Behind the bag, over to first, and that will retire the side. But the Royals, the walks kill you, man. 3 runs on a hit, no errors. Inning and a half in the books, 3-3. So Mike Pagliarulo, Andre Robertson, and Bobby Meacham to face Gubiza here in the second. And just for anyone watching out there from Florida, specifically the Sarasota area, it's pronounced Gubiza. Here's Pags, 234, 9 homers, and 29 RBI. Pagliarulo punches that one into right center. Jones will cut it off and hold him to a single. Very high-level analysis here. 400 hitters existed because it was far easier to dominate the league. That's true. 8 teams, and trust me, you're getting the bottom third of some of those teams. They are, horrible. Higher standard deviation among the best and worst versus league average. By the way, before I read the next thing, how is your Diamond Mine project going? Brett's 80 season, Gwynn's 94 were more impressive than virtually any 400 season. I would think that if 94 had been played to conclusion that Gwynn would have hit 400. Robertson, 7 for 18, by the way, 389 and 3 RBI. And that's a base hit, so Wilson will pick it up. On hold because of work. Okay. I still think that is one of the nicest projects I've heard. Here's Bobby Meacham, 198, a homer, a triple, and 17 RBI. Work, nap, dinner, sleep, rinse and repeat. But hopefully, with what you do for work, you have some very comfortable places to sleep that aren't blue light specials. So Paliarulo on second, Robertson on first. Do I want a bunt? Why not? They're playing. They'll give it to me. He bunts. Wathan drops it down. White is there, so it goes 2-4 on the bunt, and Robertson and Paliarulo move up 90, and more importantly for the Yankees, are in scoring position for Ricky Henderson, who doubled and scored to start the ballgame. Gubas' opening 9 on 33 pitches, inning and a third, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, with a walk. Even though your office is 1 mile from the house. Yep, Tim, kind of like your entire 2001 and first few months of 2022. You got a nice light rail system in Cleveland, though, right? So second and third, 1 out for Ricky. And it's now 5-3 New York, as Ricky has punched that one in for a 2-run single, I would think. No, Robertson holds. So it's 4-3. So here's Griffey. Walked and scored in the first. And Steeler fan was right. Some high-octane offense here. Brought to you by your local Sunoco station. Because they have some high-octane gases for you. Ricky's going. Wathan's throw down to second to Pryor, and Ricky has number 40. So second and third, 1 out, and the Yankees are manufacturing like you wouldn't believe. And a 1-ball count to Griffey. Been doing some research on 3,000 hitters with Miggy. What'd you think of Boone intentionally walking Miggy at home on 29.99? The last one to do it was A-Rod, wasn't he? And didn't he do it with a homer, or was that Jeter? Tribe fan asks who's the oldest to hit 3,000. Pitch to Griffey. Up the middle, White with a fantastic stop. Robertson's going to score. They're going to take the sure out at first. Ricky Keeler, how are you? And the Yankees now go up 5-3. Smart move to walk him. Ricky says it's just Tiger fans upset that they have to wait tomorrow against Colorado. I don't agree. Not worth all the outrage, but... Brad is on the soapbox now. Tell you what I got hacked off about. Tommy Pham's idiot comments about the Stevenson collision. You know what? Yeah, you can't publicly threaten the runner. Absolutely not. You know what cheeses me off? The Red Sox asked Don Orsillo to do a tribute for Jerry Remy. It was Jerry Remy's night last night at Fenway Park, and I'd forgotten about that. And so Orsillo did a video tribute because the Padres are in Pittsburgh. And they told Orsillo yesterday morning that they weren't going to play it. Yeah, God rest his soul indeed. His suffering is done. Mattingly singled, by the way, his first time up. 5-3 New York. Mattingly drove in his 60th run, and he scored. Henderson dances off the line at third. Jones will make the catch, and that will retire the side. Well, the Yankees get 2 on 3 hits and no errors. We'll see if we can get any pitching in this game sometime soon. After 2, 5-3 New York. Yeah, that was messed up. According to Wikipedia, Cap Anson was the oldest and Ty Cobb the youngest, which doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I've had 12 runs the last 10 innings after not scoring for 30. And Brad is now, by the way, now has the bathroom, executive washroom key to the Statler and Waldorf suite here at Retro Sports Network. Willie Wilson singled his first time up. Rasmussen, 33 for pitches on his opening 9, 2 innings, 2 hits, the home run to Wathan, and 2 walks. Willie grounds one to short. Meacham on a 30 hopper throws to first. 1 out. I think it's Blue Jays Angels tomorrow. Here's Lonnie. He's 0 for 1. That's a base hit. Winfield moves over to cut it off in right center. Brings up George Brett 0 for 1. You knew, once I figured out how I could score, that would happen on a repeated basis. This goes to show I haven't won in a week either. Smith goes. Weininger, it's a hit and run. Meacham with a great stop in the hole. Wasn't going to get Smith anyway, but they do get Brett. He dove for it on the grass, 2 out. And that brings up McCray, who walked and scored in the second. Rasmussen deals. Walked him. And that's how the Royals got a lot of runs the last inning. Here's Balboni. Steve, 0 for 1. Smith on third. That was a wild pitch, by the way, on ball 4. You don't see that very often. And so runners on the corners for Dennis. With Balboni at the plate. Here's a chopper to second. Robertson goes to first. Balboni running hard. And that will retire the side. So the Royals leave on 2. They don't score. They get a hit, a walk, and no errors. Bottom 3, 5-3 New York. I would never have guessed that. Brad says only 19 of the 32 3,000 Hit Club members have a career batting average over 300. When Miguel Cabrera gets that in the next few days or tomorrow, that would make him the 14th of the 20. It's a 310 average. Wait, so 19 of 32? Oh, 14th of the 20. Okay. We need more unathletic-looking players like Balboni today. Todd, you left, by the way, before I could read the scores. And your buddy, George Hendrick, had a huge day for the Padres. Just saying. He would have stuck out a finger for you, but he was too lazy. Winfield singled and drove in a run his first time up. And he walks. Brings up Baylor. Don is 0 for 1. Winfield's got good speed. And the throw to first. And Dave dives back in. All right. You tempted me to do it. Baylor really can't hit and run. So there goes Winfield. Wathan will throw down a wide, and Winfield has his 10th of the year. We need more guys whose baseball card scares small children. Willie McGee. Can you imagine growing up in the late 50s and early 60s, and you get your nickel for mowing the lawn with a hand mower, and you get your nickel pack of Tops. It's got the 5 cards in it, and the first one you open is a Don Mossy. Worst yet, if you just got the 1 penny pack that your grandmother gave you, and you open it up, and it's not Mickey Mantle or Willie Mays. It's Don Mossy. And ears that Dumbo said were too big. Baylor's 0 for 1. Base hit left field. Winfield's motoring. Smith will pick it up. Lonnie will throw it back. No, Winfield's going to hold, as Lonnie was pretty short. So runners on the corners. Oh, yes, Todd B. Todd. Somehow that word didn't make the auto filter. Yeah, Don Mossy did have those Dumbo's ears. You get a checklist, which is now, you know, Todd, you say that. We were talking about baseball cards in the first game. So you mentioned Billy Martin's card in the first game. Those checklists are worth a lot of money because you either put them in the books because you didn't care, or you filled them out. Steeler fans' uncle mowed Bob Feller's lawn as a kid. Yep, or you get the Billy Martin card in 1972 with a finger on the back. There you go. He just wants to say hello. Yep, so I did. Wrote on with a big pen. So first and third for Weiniger. Butch is 0 for 1. That's a ground ball up the middle. That's going to score a run. It's 6-3 New York. So here's Pagliarulo. Mike 1 for 1. Gubazov really not fooling anybody right now. Singled and scored. Tough to find unmarked check marks to fill the sets. Yeah. The things that you just would never have thought of. Pagliarulo, little ground ball over the mound. White charges in, throws to first. Balboni's there, and Pags is retired. But Baylor and Weiniger move into scoring position. One out for Andre Robertson, who singled and scored. The rain has stopped here in New York. 82 degrees. Right now in Burlington, it's 53. Second and third, Robertson. Chopper to Gubaza. Baylor's going to hold. Throw to first, 2 out. And I completely missed the wrapper with that gum. It's a good thing that I'm not like Gardner. I don't lay the camera on when I'm streaming like this because he would have been able to have watched me spit out the gum and miss the wrapper completely. Here's Bobby. Bobby sacked bunt his first time up. Baylor and Weiniger in scoring position. Todd B, of course, because he is a gentleman and a scholar. All of his Hendrick cards had horns, a goatee, and a pitchfork drawn in. Surprised they didn't have whiteout over the glove. What, the Billy Martin card? The manager's card, one of the Tigers in the 72 set. I'm surprised you don't know this. And so as he's standing there, and they're snapping his picture, he actually flips the camera, the bird. That 72 set I just never like anyway. Pitch to Meacham. Runners go, and there's a base hit into center field. So Gubaza isn't doing all that well. Baylor will score. Weiniger will hold at third, and it's 7-3 New York. And that'll do it for Gubaza. And it'll be Mike Jones coming in. So Mike, a lefty, no record. A 4.05 ERA, no record, 26 2/3 innings. He is 26 years old. Fly ball pitcher and a fastball pitcher at 91. Couple outings against the Yankees, he's given up a run in 1 inning. Last pitched against the Angels 10 days ago in a 5-1 loss, 1 inning, and 15 pitches allowed a hit. So 26 2/3, 25 hits, 12 runs all earned, walked 3 homers, walked 17 and struck out 11. Did I know that the first photograph of the bird was a photo of a baseball player? Oldest known evidence of the bird. coincidentally or not, the same guy as the first known steroid user in baseball history, and he's a Hall of Famer, and his name is Pud Galvin. In 1899, Steeler fan says chewing gum was a luxury. Dave would be thrilled to have a piece. Speaking of that, my favorite hot tub girl on. So Leiniger on third, Beecham on first, 7-3 New York in the third. Ricky Henderson has singled, doubled, driven in a run, scored, and stolen a base. In the left, Smith is going to run out of ballpark, and somebody from Staten Island made a catch. Yep, I got a Cupid doll. Only reason why I knew about if Ricky Keeler is still here, it's going to be a mutual friend of ours who told us about Pud Galvin, our dear friend Dave Hill. So a 1-2 count. They probably gave it to a young fan. Well, you're the fan from Staten Island. Did you give it to a young fan? Pitch to Ricky. There's a pop-up right side. Jones goes back. And that will do it. So after 3, my goodness. You probably did. Good for you. 2 runs, three hits, and no errors. We go to the 4th. It's 7-3 New York. Rick Keeler and Zach Hempel are not cut from the same piece of cloth. Thank goodness. Frank White is 0 for 1. Rasmussen starts the 4th. The ground ball to Robertson. Andre throws demandingly 1 out. And somebody's hurt. It is White. So Frank White rolled his ankle running down the line, and so the Royals will have to bring in a second baseman. Here's Lynn Jones. 225. Oh, he walked and scored in the second. Base hit left field. So Griffey throws it back in. 4th hit for the Royals. The Yankees have 9. Wathan, John Wathan of all people, he hit 1 homer all year in the real season. Don't ask me what game he hit it in because I don't know that off the top of my head. He smashed a 3-run homer down the line and left. Yeah, not old enough to have seen Maz on the double play. Me neither, Brad. But I have to imagine it looks something like Frank White. Yep. White could turn him. And, of course, White had the advantage that Mazeroski never did in playing half of his games, on more than half, as all of his home games were on the turf. Pitch to Wathan. Ground ball to third. Pagliarulo might have 2 here. Robertson for 1. Mattingly for 2. And so we go to the bottom of the 4th. It's the Yankees 7, the Royals 3. Well, we're going to try to do this without freezing the game. It didn't freeze when I did this at lunchtime. All right, Steeler fan, here you go. Dodgers by 4.5 over Houston. The Reds have caught fire. They've won 7-10, and they're now at 500. Atlanta has lost 6 straight, and they won't be on Retro Sports Networking on this replay. They have a run differential of -80. The Cardinals have sold out of their playoff tickets. They lead the Expos by 11.5. Hey, the Mets decided they finally needed to win some games. They're still under 500, and they're 15.5 back. Can we switch to the Pirates game? No. The Phillies are waiting for Randall Cunningham. They're 26.5 out. Kansas City by 2.5 over California. You go down the line there, and it's only 10 games from top to bottom. The Royals have lost 2. The Blue Jays at 49-34, best record in the American League. A game and a half over the Red Sox, who've won 4 straight. Then the Tigers, Yankees, and the Orioles, who have played really, really well. The Reds won. That's how you know it's a sim. Cleveland and Milwaukee are not there. So, again, as we head into the All-Star break, all 4 real teams have it. Seattle is 35 and you even got the 35 part wrong. They're 39 and 43. Kansas City's the only team in the American League West with a positive run differential. Meanwhile, the American League East, everybody but Cleveland and Milwaukee is at. Yeah, the Guardians. That was nice to see the Cleveland Ball Club post the billboard for J-Ram after signing there. Here's Griffey. Has walked, he's 0 for 1, drove in his 32nd, and scored. Ron is doing his best to ostracize the majority of his audience by having the Dodgers and Yankees win on his channel on the same day. There was a time, we had a guy by the name of Lorenzo, who I hope is okay. I haven't seen him in forever. And he was the world's biggest Dodger fan. By the way, there's 8 people watching this, so yeah, all about ratings. And we'd featured the, we haven't done a season yet where the Dodgers were bad. But if we did 1 Dodger game a week, he'd want 4. And if I did 2 Dodger games, he'd want 6. He'd throw me money every once in a while, too, and I wouldn't take his bribes. And somehow in the process, because he knew I liked the Red Sox, he claimed to be this big Yankee fan, too. And so, yeah. Oh, goodness, another band today. That's 2 bands in one day. That's not true, Brad. I had 12 people watching a doubleheader last week. A live cage match with a banner. We've determined, by the way, if we ever do the VH1 Behind the Music about great teams, the crowd noise is real loud. Okay. It's actually pretty quiet, but all you hear is a trumpet. Here, we turn that down. Yeah, I do too. Yep. Behind the banner, there we go. Yeah, I hope Lorenzo's okay too. All right, well, hopefully they'll take care of it. Pitch to Griffey. Popped up. Shallow right center. Wilson moves over. It's louder than me. Still? Here's Mattingly. Don is 1 for 2. With an RBI and a run scored. No one else is saying anything about that. Pitch to Don. Into right. Jones coming in. And that's an out. So 2 out for Winfield. Dave has an RBI as 61st. Singled, walked, stole a base and scored. Into right field. Back goes Jones in the corner. And Lynn will make the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 4, 7-3 New York. So Pryor, Wilson, and Smith to face Rasmussen here in the 5th. Popped up left side. Griffey has it for the out. It's almost 9 here, Brad says. Well, it's 8:42 Eastern. But this TV commercial just got me kind of playing a post-game jaunt to Jack in the Box for some tiny tacos. We don't have those up here. Remember when the Beatles broke up over petty stuff? Keep your eye on digital dice. It's going to be a pickle, Rick, isn't it, Todd? Here's Willie, 1 for 2. Rasmussen is opening 18 on 4 1/3 innings. 4 hits, 69 pitches, a 3-run homer to Wathan. He's walked 3 and struck out none. Pitch to Willie. Ground ball to short. Meacham. Long throw to first. And he throws it away. Mattingly has to go get it. My goodness, did it really hit Keith Olbermann's mom again? Anyway, Wilson moves to second. Midnight snacks at Jack in the Box. That's a new topic. Klingon battleship reading material? We haven't talked about that. Or Aunt Becky. Maybe Aunt Becky on a Klingon battleship. Here's Lonnie Smith. He's 1 for 2. So that's the first error for the Yankees. Ground ball to short. Meacham over to Mattingly for the out. Keith Olbermann's mom. Wasn't that the one that was always hit by Knobloch in the stands? Pineapple pizza? No, we Dave and I have agreed to disagree on pineapple pizza. Here's Brett. George is 0 for 2. Wilson goes into right field. Winfield in the corner. That's going way back there. And Dave will make the catch to retire the side. Halfway home on a Thursday night. The Yankees 7, Royals 3. If you joined us late, here's how we got here. The Yankees got 3 in the first off of Mark Gubiza. Don Mattingly an RBI single to make it 1-0. Winfield an RBI single to score Griffey to make it 2-0. And then Baylor, as the band plays on, made it 3-0 on a fielder's choice. Then John Wathen, of all people, a 3-run homer to tie the game at 3. Then the Yankees got 2 back in the second. Ricky Henderson an RBI single to make it 4-3. Then Ken Griffey on a fielder's choice to make it 5-3. Brad again has got the executive watch key. That's true. Dealer, I'll read that in a second. In the third, the Yankees pounded on 2 more. Butch Weiniger with an RBI single of Winfield to make it 6-3. And then Bob Beecham with a single to score Baylor to make it 7-3. This game is brought to you by the drug Hemlibra. What the hell does that do? Well, apparently Frank White needs it because he rolled his ankle. So Gubiza, a short night, 2 2/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, all earned. He and Kirk Kepshire are not representing the state of Missouri very well. Dennis Rasmussen, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. A homer, he's walked 3. Hemlibra. Sounds like something that you would take to thicken your blood. That's true. We're talking about Don Baylor. He had the playoff run, 86 Red Sox, 87 Twins, 88 A's. And, of course, was on the 85 Yankees at the plate. He got 1 ring out of that, right? Just the Twins. Baylor 1 for 2, grounded into a double play and scored. And Baylor, there's a base hit. That's going to roll in the corner. Don's digging for 2. And Onyx Concepcion, who now goes to second, who's a 3, Billy, is there. But Baylor has its 11th double, so Concepcion will bat 6. So Robinson Cano, don't you know, is the closest to Biggie that's still active. How many hits does Cano have? And why in God's green earth is Hemlibra advertising on Twitch? Weiniger draws the walk. Brings up Pagliarulo. Mike, we're going to pinch hit here. Cano is 371 hits shy and turns 40 in October, so he really would need 3 more years. Altuve or Machado are probably the next. Yeah, I would agree with that, Ricky. We're going to pinch hit here. And we're going to pinch hit. Who can hit a righty? Who can hit a lefty? Omar Moreno. Omar at 162 with a homer and 3 RBI. Has a pinch hitting 444 average. And that, yeah, Cano would have done it without his 1.5 year loss for a suspension. I wouldn't bet on. There was a talk about that. They're just swinging too freely. But somebody is going to figure out how to be patient enough and to place the baseball. They may not, if they're active now, they may not have played all that long. I don't think 3,000 hits is not the dinosaur that 300 wins is. Pitch to Moreno. Omar sends that one into right center field. Baylor will round third and hold. So they'll hold him and the bases will be loaded with nobody out here in the 5th for Andre Robertson, who's 1 for 2 with a run scored. That's true. 300 wins now is structurally impossible because of usage pattern. Offense has plummeted in the past several years. I know that 1 week is not a lot to go on for data, regardless of what it is. But I know that in the AAA games, they didn't use the pitch clock the first week, and they were averaging 3 hours and 11 minutes. The first week of the pitch clock in AAA, it dipped to 2.5 hours. It's 2:38. So you gotta wonder if pitchers are gonna be rushing to throw pitches if they just make more mistakes. Just throwing that out there. And yes, offense is plummeted. It's a 20 minutes per game at low A, yeah. And so you just kind of think they'll adapt quickly, but you just kind of have to wonder, if you rush, will you make more of that mistake? Robertson 1 for 2. He's now 2 for 3 as that's in the left field. Baylor will score. Weiniger, who has my speed, will hold at third, and it's 8-3 New York. So I've scored 16 runs today. Here's Meacham. Bobby 1 for 1, a single and an RBI, and they're loaded here. You saw the split on Garrett Cole since they started punishing the foreign substances on the ball mid-season last year. That's the cutoff between his all-star performance and being crap for nearly a year. Yep, very suspicious, and he's had some terrible starts this year. Ricky says you got 9 inning games finishing in under 2.5 hours. Works for the regular season, but in the postseason, length of game isn't a huge deal because of what's on the line. And again, it's all, they were talking about this the other night on the radio. Pitch to Meacham, and Bobby strikes out. First for Mike, who's about halfway through his pitch count. So 1 out for Ricky, who is 2 for 3. He has singled, doubled, driven in a run, scored, and stolen a base. It's all about the flow. You just got to keep the pace of play going. Yes, Pedro Baez. The reason why I invested heavily into drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee anytime I had to work a West Coast game. Pitch to Ricky. That's in the left center. That should score Weiniger because it's so deep back there. Wilson will make the catch. Weiniger goes back to tag. He'll run on Wilson, and Wilson just throws it in the infield. It's now 9-3. This game goes on much longer, Brad. You'll be able to get breakfast at Jack in the Box. Here's Griffey. Ken is 0 for 2. He's got an RBI, a run scored, and a walk. First and second, a ground ball to Balboni. Steve takes it to the bag, and we're finally through 5. Man, both of these games have taken forever today. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. After 5, 9-3. So Dale Bear is a 5 with a .917 fielding percentage, and he goes in at third. McRae, Balboni, Concepcion here in the 6th. Hal has walked twice and scored. Unless you're on the road, you make your own breakfast. Too good at that. What do you like making for breakfast? Pitch to McRae. Howland to right field. Winfield. And that is caught. Foul territory. Not a lot of room there, and he made the catch. And the eggs help with your... Eggs are good for you, man. Here's Balboni. He is 0 for 2. Pitch. Here's a line drive to left. Griffey. Gonna dive. Nope, can't get it. Balboni's got 1. He's gonna dig for 2 as that scampers past Ken. And that's Balboni's 21st double of the year. So runner on second, 1 out for Onyx Concepcion. Onyx doesn't look very happy there. 180, 3 homers, and 16 RBI. Strikeout. Got him on a 2-2 curve. Omelet, English muffin, and a coffee is your standard, but French toast is a nice treat once a week. Is the Easter Bunny still in charge in Washington? Commander Easter Bunny? Daniel Snyder? Lynn Jones singled, 1 for 1. Scored a run and walked. Pitch to Lynn. Balboni goes. There's a line drive to Rasmussen, and that's the inning. There are a lot of turkeys in D.C. for sure. No runs, a hit, no errors. After we go to the bottom of the 6th, 9-3 New York. But enough about the Snyder family. Mattingly is 1 for 3. Followed by Winfield and Baylor. Dawn has an RBI single. Is driven in 60 now. Remember, the Yankees are halfway through the season today. And a run scored. Draws the walk. Lerner selling the franchise, good or bad? Ricky can answer this too. I think if it's Leonosis from the Capitals and the Bullets, I think that's a good thing because he probably has the pull to get them out of that god-awful television situation with Masson. However, if they want, Ricky says if they want to keep Soto, yes. If it's just to a consortium of people who just need to have a toy, not necessarily. Winfield 1 for 2. Driven in a run, 61 for him. Scored, stolen a base, and a walk. Ground ball to Concepcion. Onyx goes to first, and Winfield beat it out on a bang-banger. Concepcion is not a good second baseman. But Frank White is out. We'll trade you Bob Castellini for your consortium. I don't know who's going to run the Nats. So I think selling to Ted would be very good. If not bad for a 33-year-old Winfield, no. There's Baylor. See, 33? Baylor is 2 for 3. He has single, doubled, scored twice, and grounded into a double play. I don't understand why fans in Cincinnati and Oakland just don't stay home. Pitch to Baylor. Popped up left side. Brett eventually will make the catch. 1 out. At least the Reds have a nice ballpark. Here's Weiniger. Butch 1 for 2, a single, an RBI, a run, score, and a walk. The dangerous thing with the Reds, especially now with the Bengals finding success. I mean, it's one thing to be, treat your customers like steaming garbage when the football team is bad. But if the Bengals get on a sustained run the next few years, that's just terrible for the Reds. Yeah, just there. Well, that's true. Cincinnati Football Club going gangbusters. Winfield born on 10/3/51, and there was a certain baseball event that happened on that day as well. Where's Lorenzo? The Giants win the pennant! The Giants win the pennant! They're going crazy! They're going crazy! And the Reds haven't been relevant for a couple generations, but just a small effort, man. Pitch. Watson and Jones are going to talk. Mattingly and Winfield on the bases. Struck him out. So Weiniger swings and misses on a 2-2 curve. 2 out here in the 6th. We're going to run an hour and a half for this one, too. Here's Dale Berra. Dale at 200. No homers and 10 RBI. 2 on, 2 out. Struck him out. He got him right down Broadway. So after 6, no runs. The Yankees leave on 2. They don't score. No errors. But they still lead 9-3. So Wathan, who is all 3 Kansas City RBI, they came in the 2nd, Pryor and Wilson. John 1 for 2. Line drive to Mattingly. Oh, what a catch. Brings up Pryor. Fish down. Pryor 0 for 2. Ground ball to Robertson. 2 out. You wonder, because Gardner does such a good Red Cashin on the streams. Was Cartman to take off on Red Cashin? Meh. Do I have a 40-foot satellite dish stuck on my butt? As close to first down or struck him out. You be the judge. Here's Willie Wilson. Willie 1 for 3. Rasmussen through 27, 6 2/3, 106 pitches, 5 hits. A homer allowed. That was to Wathan. He's walked 3 and struck out 1. By the way, Chris White, is that the name of the person that I'm supposed to do? He does the card envelopes for APA. And this week, he is doing some Strat hockey card envelopes with logos. And he made for Dave a set of $18.99 APA-like Cleveland's are National League cards. And they are drop-dead gorgeous. It's on full card stock. And, of course, it's not APA looking on the playing side. But on the back of the card is the name of the team and the logo. They are gorgeous. And so that's Chris White. That's true, Steeler fan. The cat is in the other room banging on the garbage can you sent me. Willie Wilson's 1 for 3. Struck him out. That's 2. Struck him out. So that will retire the side. Stretch time, 9-3. Knowing the cat, we might find Ron inside that trash can before long. Here's Andre Robertson, Meacham, and Henderson to follow. Jones has thrown 3 1/3 innings here. 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Walked 2 and struck out 3. Andre is 2 for 3, single twice, driven and a run scored. Into right, Jones, 1 out. There's only 5 active players, even with 2,000 hits. Well, we're going to say Miggy, and we're going to say Robinson Cano. We're supposed to name them. Bob Meacham is, Yachty has to be 1. I would think so. Bobby's 1 for 2. Meacham is an RBI and a strikeout. Struck him out. That's 4. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Trout hasn't played long enough for 2,000, has he? Oh, Pujols, of course. So that's 4. And Brad's boy Votto? I think you guys got him. Ricky Henderson, Pujols, and Votto. Yep. So here's your 5. Will Smith. Oh, ha ha ha. That slaps. Here's Ricky Henderson. Ricky 2 for 3. A single, a double, driven in 2. A run scored and a stolen base. Base is empty, and Ricky strikes out. That's 5, and that's the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 8th, 9-3 New York. So Rasmussen, I don't know why I keep trying to throw an extra syllable in there. Smith, Brett, and McRae. Dennis only has allowed 5 hits through 7 innings. Ground ball to third. Barra across the way. Lonnie can run. That's close, and that's an error. So Mattingly, the throw was low. Mattingly kept it in front of him. And Lonnie has a 96% chance of stealing second. And that didn't work either. They're going to pitch out. Brett's 0 for 3. Freeman and Altuve both have 1,700 hits and are 32. So they would need, well, you know, the good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. We're going to have 5 full seasons here. So that would put them their year 37 season. How many does Trout have? Smith stays put. And it's a 1-ball count. Dennis steals. Into right center, Henderson going way back there. That ball is well struck. That's on the black. So the Royals get a couple back here on Rasmussen, and it's now 9-5. Machado at 29 is 1,500, near 1,500. So Brett just hammered that one. My goodness. Who is the highest, you got Baseball Reference open, who was the highest active batting average? Trout walks a ton, midlife crisis says. I'd be surprised if he had more than 1,500. Yeah, Machado is hated, but he is on a Hall of Fame path for sure. So 9-5, nobody out. They'll give him McRae. Al has walked twice and scored, 0 for 1. Got him. That brings up Balboni. Steve is 1 for 3 with a double. Walked him, and then I'll do it for Dennis. So we're going to go with not a save situation yet. Shirley, you jest. Highest average you think is Altuve? Bob Shirley, making his 21st appearance of the year, 31 years old, ground ball plus pitcher, and a fastball tops out at 85. He went on both ends of a doubleheader against the Twins on the 7th. He lost the first game 4-3. He went 37 pitches in 1 inning and gave up 3 runs. In the nightcap, he did not take a decision in a 6-5 win. 2 innings, 43 pitches, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, a walk and a strikeout. So over, it's Miggy. Really? Wow. 67 in the 3rd innings for Shirley, 64 hits. 25 runs, all earned, 3 homers allowed. Take it, RJL's game is done. We're up to 10 people watching. Thanks for joining us. 17 walks and 42 strikeouts. So the loss against the Twins made him 4-1, who now has an ERA of 3.34. Trout, by the way, is just shy of 1,500, but his injury history is bad news. How old is Mike? So Balboni on first. Concepcion at the plate. 1 out, top of the 8th. Into left center. In comes Henderson. Ricky is there. 2 out. 31. Or 30. I'm not reading those. Henderson, by the way, with a diving stop as Mickey Mantle's reputation is being sullied. Absolutely sullied in the chat. Here's Lynn Jones. Lynn 1 for 2. A single and a walk. John remembers when they made a big deal out of Ryan's 300th win. No one was even close. Now 300 maybe as well as Cy Young's 500. That's true. The big difference between Trout and Mick is that Mantle was in 12 World Series and Trout has heard of it. Ouch, but true. But in Trout's defense, there weren't any playoffs. They just won the league 12 years. Jones is 1 for 2. If you joined us late, Yankees led by as much as 7-3. John Wathan has 3 RBI for the Royals. And Mark Gubiza was chased early. So Dennis Rasmussen is about to get the win, I would think. Pitch to Jones. Ground ball to Robertson. Over to first for the out. That's, that's kind of cruel, but it's true. Trout had the chance to play for a winning team. But you know what? In Mike's defense, and speaking of Mike's, Mike Lacoste coming in for the Royals. Mike making his 17th appearance of the year. He's gone, by the way, on August 7th. 1-1 with a save and a 5.66 ERA. He's 29 years old, fastball pitcher at 95 and a ground ball pitcher. Last pitched on July 4th against Baltimore in a 4-3 win, went inning and a third. 30 pitches, 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. 20 and 2/3 innings, 25 hits, 16 runs, 13 earned. Gave up a homer on May 30th to the White Sox. He's walked 11 and struck out 18. In Trout's defense, I'm not taking a side in this argument. If he had signed elsewhere, he would have also taken a great amount of grief from the public for not being loyal to the team. So darned if you do, and really darned if you don't. You can certainly see where Brad's going with that. So, it depends on how you feel about that. John made a prediction to your wife the other night that someday in her lifetime a middle reliever will win the Cy Young. Okay. I'm not going to say no to that. Here's Ken Griffey, 0 for 3. He does have an RBI. A walk and a run scored. Ground ball to third as we start the bottom of the 8th. Brett across the way. 1 out. That's true. We haven't... in 84, as Brad brings up that the Cy voters have moved away from relievers, the MVP was a closer. It was Willie Hernandez. Other than Gagne, Eck was the last reliever to win it. Thing is, do you think we'll see a middle reliever that would throw 85, 90 innings? Mattingly is 1 for 3. Has an RBI, it's number 60, a run scored and a walk. It's a matter of time, Midlife Crisis says, and a manager comes up with the idea now with a universal DH. Use a horse who can give you 3+ innings in the middle of a game a couple times a week. You mean kind of like how they used to pitch in the 70s? Yeah, not a closer. You wouldn't dare do that with the closer. What was it, Mike Marshall, who threw 106 times for the Dodgers in 74? And of course, Bob Stanley had several years where he had 100 innings out of the pen. You're just not going to see that anymore. Pitch to Mattingly. Line drive over Balboni, but Jones will let it drop just in front of him. 14th hit for the Yankees. 9 runs, 14 hits, 2 errors. They've left on 7. The Royals 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and they've left on 5. Yeah, Carrasco had a pretty good game. The Mets took 3 out of 4 from the Giants this week. Carrasco pitched in the 8th. The thing is, I don't know. I think you got to build in that endurance. Again, do you continue to teach in the minors just to throw as hard as you can? Or do you start now trying to come back a bit because of the amount of pitchers who go through a Tommy John surgery? Winfield, by the way, 2 for 3. Single twice, RBI, a run scored, and a stolen base and a walk. Now that would be the other thing too, because you got to go. Starter has to throw 5 to get the win. A middle reliever who does that, as we talked about, will be consistently more likely to win 20 than a starter. I'm thinking Elroy Face 119 as a pure reliever with the Pirates. Pitch to Winfield. There's a base hit. He's 3 for 4. That goes into left center. Ricky brings up a good point. I get guys not throwing a high volume. All right, Dave. Thanks for watching. 1959, so just before that, a 19-game winner and all out of the pen. I get guys not throwing a high volume of innings in the minors, but in the majors, don't you have to eventually develop to go deeper in a game again? I think the point being, if you're told that you're going to throw at 95, 96, 97, then that's what you got to do. Then no, you're not going to go deep. But if we start generating some pitchers who can throw some off-speed stuff and not tax their arms so much, yeah, it comes and goes in waves. Baylor 2 for 4. We're not seeing teams that are going to have 40 complete games ever again. Baylor 2 for 4, single, double, and a score twice. Ground ball to Lacoste, Pryor for 1, over to Balboni, and that's a double play. So 1, 4, 3. The Royals, by the way, finally flipped Concepcion and Pryor to get it right. We go to the top of the 9th. Kansas City needs 4 to tie and 5 to win. But they can't command the off-speed, and it leads to more hit batters. No, and again, I think that's something they got to coach in college, personally. Then again, you really can't throw the off-speed stuff with the metal bats. You're being inspired for a possible project. What's that? Wathan. Again, a big 3-run homer in the second. 1 for 3. And he laces that into left. Griffey will pick it up. So John is having himself an evening here. Hot day in New York, 87 degrees. The rain stopped a while ago. Greg Pryor is 0 for 3. There's a base hit. So Righetti starts to warm for the Yankees as the Royals, with Wilson, have the tying run now on deck. Willie's 1 for 4. Nobody out here in the 9th. 9-5 the score. Surprised no one yet has gone to simply 3-inning pitchers in a mix and match, no starter reliever designation. I think you'll see that happen. You want to make them develop pitchers? You could put a strict control on how many pitchers a team can use. 3 innings is 1 time through the lineup, yeah. If you capped it with a 26-man roster with 15 position players and 11 pitchers, you'd have to figure out a way for those pitchers to work. Pitch to Wilson. In the right, Winfield coming in. When Ricky and I covered the Nats, Wathan will tag and Winfield will just eat it. So Wathan goes to third. I thought it was kind of crazy that the National League teams would go with 13 position players and 12 pitchers. That just shortens your bench an incredible amount. I just kind of wonder if that would be something that would be agreed to. A cap of the number of pitchers on the active roster. Here's Lonnie Smith. He's 1 for 4. Yeah, Philadelphia, 13 or 14. Yeah, something on a game that we did together. Absolutely right. Well, we're not going to solve the baseball world's problems in the next 2 outs. Runners on the corners. Smith right to Shirley. Goes to Robertson for one. They will not throw to first. Well, they will, but it'll be late. What's Wathan going to do? Does John score? He does. It's 9-6. 2 out for Brett, who homered his last time up. His 19th of the year. He's now driven in 47. So 1 on, 2 out. And Shirley just trying to lock this one down. Pitch to Brett. Line drive to Robertson, and the Yankees win the ball game. By the score of 9-6. 9 runs, 15 hits, 2 errors. And they left on 8. The Royals 6 runs, 8 hits, and they left on 6. So Rasmussen gets the win. He goes to 7-3, 7 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, the 2 homers. Wathan and Brett walked 4 and struck out 3. Shirley, probably would get credit for a hold. Mark Gubicza takes a loss, 2 2/3, 9 hits, 7 runs all earned. He walked 2. You had minus stuff, you think? Game gives Ricky the MVP. Yeah, I'll go with that. 2 for 4, 2 RBI. So the Yankees and Royals are only 1 game apart. The Yankees are now 44-37, and the Royals are 45-37. There was a game, Midlife Crisis says, called Baseball Simulator 1000 on the Nintendo. That was a blast to play and simulate a season. Looking back at eerily foretold of today's game. Lots of homers and short rotations where everyone relieved and the starters never pitched more than 4 or 5. Brad says even to develop 4-man rotation to go 6 per start. That's only 12 relief innings pitched you need to account in a 4-game stretch. At one point, weren't we headed in the direction of 6-man rotations? Rest of the day in baseball, by the way. Cubs beat the Padres 2-1. Scott Sanderson, a 2-hitter, strikes out 7, beats Dave Dravecky 4-9. Jody Davis 2 for 4, his 10th of the year and 2 RBI. Oakland beats the Red Sox 4-1. Kruger 6-5, so is Ojeda. Dave Kingman 2 for 4, his 16th of the year and drives in 2. Texas beats Cleveland. Is that a doubleheader? No. Jerry Reed takes a loss. No, it doesn't. 3-hitter and can't get anything going. Greg Harris, that was in 12 innings. Clark takes a loss. He goes to 0-6. Toby Harrah, his 6th of the year, 1 for 1. Mets beat the Reds 8-0. Aguilera gets the win, 3-2. Tom Browning falls to 9-5. Ray Knight, 1 for 1, his 3rd of the year, drives in 2. Expos beat the Braves 5-2. Voice is starting to go now. Mickey Mailer 3-2. Len Barker 1-5. That didn't work out for Atlanta, did it? Gary Lucas, his first save. Baltimore shuts out Minnesota. Mike Boddicker and Sammy Stewart combined on it. Boddicker goes to 9-8. Frank Viola, whose birthday was this week, goes to 7-8. Sammy Stewart gets the save. Dodgers beat the Pirates 4-1. Jerry Royce goes to 8-5. Jim Tunnell goes to 4-4. Greg Brock 2 for 4, 12th home run, drives in 2. Shy Sox beat the Tigers in 11, 4-3. James goes to 7-3. Doug Baer falls to 3-2. Sparky loved him, didn't he? Harold Baines 3 for 5, 2 RBI and a double. In a slugfest at Busch, St. Louis beats San Francisco 11-10. Bill Campbell goes to 2-0. Greg Benton falls to 1-3. Uh-oh, Steeler fan, I just saw that next score. Tommy Herr 3-6. He hits his 2nd of the year. Philadelphia beats the Astros 3-2. Rucker goes to 4-3. Mike Scott just 8-8 to Colby with his 8th save. Toronto beats Seattle 9-5. Jim Clancy goes to 4-4. Wills falls to 3-3. Cowens 3 for 4. His 5th homer and drove in 2. And last but not least, Ron Romanek knows the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. They beat the Brewers 9-2. Burris falls to 3-9. And Rod Carew, how do you do? 4 for 5 with a double. You know Doug, okay? Doug Bear, okay? Used to be a regular of mine when you worked for Bob Evans. I love their mashed potatoes, by the way. Great stories. He traveled around he was a favorite of Sparky's. All right. Tomorrow, we do that in Digital Dice. Tomorrow it'll be, where is it? The Angels and the Blue Jays. A big one for both teams. How about that? So that's tomorrow's entertainment. And so that'll do it. We did an hour and a half at noon and an hour and a half tonight. I'm Ron Zucker. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night, everybody.